But what makes my journey a little different is that I've never attended college. So after completing my 10th grade, so I started working due to financial constraints. So, but that didn't stop me from learning, growing, or building a career. So that's truly love. Always, sales itself is a challenging job.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have mastered that, I mean, in Hindi they say so you can sell anything to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
just have to create that need in a person.
Yeah.
The moment the candidate can drop off, any moment your client can drop off saying that no, we are close with this business. So the person who will get more affected is a recruiter and who can't even express that. He can't shout at anybody. That frustrations will be there. I'm sure a lot of recruiters will be able to connect with what I'm saying. If you ask me which skill or which product you like the most, I would say working on Salesforce.
And
I
why
would.
so,
I
if
can
I can
talk. I
ask?
can talk about Salesforce. I'm marketing Salesforce for free.
Hi everyone, welcome to I'm a Recruiter podcast. I'm your host Prafula Deori. I'm thrilled to have you with us today. I'm a Recruiter is more than just a podcast. It is a movement by and for talent acquisition professionals, and we are here to shake things up. Our vision is to create a seamless network of recruiters from classroom to boardroom, and our mission is to create a collaborative platform that connects and empowers recruiter, providing end-to-end support across talent acquisition landscape. And if you are getting any value out of our content, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and also let us know in the comment section what you think about our community. Let's build the community together. And with this, it's time to welcome our guest. Today, we are thrilled to have Maria with us. Maria is a superstar in talent acquisition and HR. She is a senior talent acquisition program manager at Onward Path, where she leads a team of recruiters and handles all the hiring processes. With tons of experience from different companies, Maria is a pro at talent management, building relationships, and making operational run smoothly. And we are super excited to hear her insight, her story today. So, with this, Maria, welcome to I'm a Recruiter podcast. Why don't you quickly introduce yourself?
Well, thanks a lot, Praful, and hi everyone. I'm Maria Velankanni, and I'm really excited to be here. A little bit about me. So, I have over 15 years of experience that includes recruitment, operations, and talent acquisition. But what makes my journey a little different is that I've never attended college. So, after completing my 10th grade, so I started working due to financial constraints. So, but that didn't stop me from learning, growing, or building a career. So, that's truly love. So over the years, I worked across India and US market. So I'm specialized in hiring for Salesforce, Oracle Cloud, and any IT roles. So I have built a recruitment team from the scratch, helping startup scales their hiring processes and even train professionals with master degrees. So that's the funny part. So most of them never realize that I've never had a degree for myself. So
Good.
for me, recruitment is more than just filling jobs. So it's about connecting people, creating opportunities, and making an impact. And this, I believe that success doesn't, it's about where you start. It is about how determined you are to keep moving forward. So today I'm here to share my journey, my challenges, and the lessons I've learned along the way. So let's please be with us till the end.
Thank you so much, Maria. Your life, your experience is a true testimony of that particular thing that talent acquisition is something which anyone can do without any degree or any course as well, right? But you should have the right attitude, the right mindset,
Absolutely.
right? Great. So before we start, we wanted to know a little bit more about Maria, right? Can you also tell us a little bit about your background, like where you were born and brought up, and little bit about your education background as well?
Sure. See, Maria, as a person, currently, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a sister. And for few, I'm a manager, for few, I'm friends and colleagues as well. So I was born and brought up in Hyderabad. And a little interesting fact about my name. Okay. So I was named as Maria Velankanni. So people, especially people from Tamil Nadu, if they hear my name, they think I'm a Tamilian or I'm from Kerala, from Chennai or Tamil Nadu. So my name has a very special meaning. So my parent had three elder sons and really wished for a daughter. So they prayed to Our Lady of Health at Velankali is the name of a site in Tamil Nadu as a sign of their faith and gratitude. So technically, I was like, they prayed and I was born. So which means my family can never complain about me. So that is about my name. So thank my parents for giving me such a lovely name. And that has given me a pride that I am Maria Velankani. And
Good to know.
about my education, as just gave an intro that I have just done my 10th, not now, but a long time ago. So I started working because of my family who could not afford higher education. So at first I felt I was missing out But later I realized learning isn't just in the classrooms. So it is a
Yes.
real world experience what I have seen. So my first job became my college. So my managers became my professors, and every challenge was a lesson there. And today, if I look back and see, yes, I have led a training sessions for MBA graduates or well educated recruiters or consultants that I have trained them, and they don't even know that I don't hold a degree. I didn't even go step into a college anytime. So a little funny, and I keep laughing in myself that yeah, so it is not always that you need to have a degree that will certify you. It is about your skills, your ability, and the way you learn from your experience.
Yes.
Now, since the world know, so proud to say that experience has taught me, and that is the reason I'm here today.
Yeah. So
Right?
you have also mentioned that after your 10th, you have started working, right? Specific reason why you have choose to work
Okay.
after your 10th.
Yeah, well, as I said, financial condition was not great. My family couldn't afford education for us, so all of us, even my brothers, started working after they finished their 10th. So during our summer holidays itself, we start working. So in that way, I get away with the work. So I kept working. Say I was a sales girl initially, so I used to sell products in a shop, and then moved to becoming a teacher. I used to teach. Then I did my training there, TTC training. Then I started for teaching and taking up tuitions to the students, and then came into call center, which has changed my life drastically.
Yes.
So from call center to recruitment, and it has got me here.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
was a wonderful journey. If I look back and see, it's like, man, I've grown. I
Yes,
have
yes,
grown.
yes. And do you feel proud of those moments? Because many of time, many people, when they are going through those situation, right, they feel like, hey, why it's happening only with me? This kind of problem, this kind of situation. But if you need to look back to your past life, do you think those situation, those environment have helped you build the true Maria who is today?
Absolutely, Praful. See, I'm sure because see, as a human, we also might have tend to think like, no, why all these kind of things are happening only to me? I'm sure I might have thought that time, but maybe I might also didn't give up on myself that no, I should not be carried away with what things I don't have. Let me focus more on my strengths. What else can I do to come out of this situation? So maybe that could have got me out and made me move forward and took me to show a way that okay, I kept on growing step by step. I didn't take a leap. So it was a very difficult steps that I had to take. Maybe there were colleagues, there were friends who have motivated, my family who has motivated and kept me guided throughout each and every step.
The next question which I have here is like many people in general, if they go through this kind of situation, many people will try to give up. So, what was that particular thing in your life which kept you motivated and kept you going forward, Maria?
I would say like you have to identify what are you good at. Erase all what you're bad at. So what are you good at? Try to work on that and make that your strength. So people will recognize what you're good at. Okay. So because when I studied in a convent school, okay, so I know that my communications are really good. Then that has given me an opportunity to enter the call center. And obviously in a call center, communication is what which will
Yes.
highlight you there. So maybe that could be a turning point for me. I have worked a lot on how to improvise my communication, how to modulate my voice, how should I be talking over the phone and convincing customers. Difficult. I mean, when we are having a face to face, if I go out and sell something, I look at a customer, I can make out, oh, this customer is not interested or this customer seems to be interested. But over the phone, you don't see anything. It is only by your voice that you sell. So literally, you're selling your voice.
Yes.
So that was my strength. So I took that and I improvised it, and that has showed in my growth also. Within 6 months, I was promoted as a team leader, and I was able to train more people. I could say like I might have trained around 50 to 100 people now. How to use your weapon, that is your voice,
Yes.
right?
I
So
can definitely see that your strength, you know what your strength is, right? You
yes.
know that your strength is your communication. And I can feel that you are completely proud of it, right? Because many of recruiters or any in general people, for them to understanding about their self strength takes time. But in your case, I think you know what your strength is. And because of that, it has helped you grow in your career as well. And
Just wanted to add because it was not easy for me to take a decision in getting into call center because I'm talking about 2004 time. So those days you have to have a degree to enter any organization because that time they used to ask for your degree and they'll keep it as a deposit, okay, so that people don't leave you and go. So when you resign after maybe a couple of years, that time they used to give. So they used to keep that as a deposit. And I was getting too much of rejections from a lot of people because I didn't had a degree, though I had a good communication skill. Companies like where I worked, Aegis, BPO, that has given me this opportunity and a platform where they did not look at the degree, but they looked at what skill I had compared to the people who had degrees. So believe in yourself and keep trying. Maybe 10 might have rejected, but don't miss out on trying at the 11th one. You never know,
Yes.
you might land there.
In general, the sales itself is very tough,
Yeah.
right? And you have rightly mentioned that when you talk to people face to face, you understand through their face expression whether they're interested or they're not interested, right? But when you are talking to someone over call, it's very difficult to understand their current situation, how their mood is, and what kind of the person is as well, right? So, what kind of challenges you have faced in your those particular days in your previous organization, and what are your learnings and how you have motivated and improved yourself from that particular situation?
See, working in a call center will always be, sales itself is challenging job.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have mastered that, I mean, in Hindi they say, so you can sell anything to anybody. So you
Yeah.
just have to create that need in a person.
Yeah.
Okay, so we used to sell credit cards. We'll save your bills and all. In challenges to take customers' credit card details. I still remember my first sale after my training and everything. First sale, and luckily I was in the pilot batch.
Okay.
So I was the person who made the first sale, and literally when I was talking to that customer, it was who was enrolling his son for a education for some course they have taken. So they have to pay a minimum for $50 or to enroll. So the customer was like very old. So I understood that, okay, I need to go very slow, talk to her, get her to like, no, stay comfortable with me. Okay. I understand. So little after the customer took some time and I felt that, okay, she is listening to me. So maybe I gave her a personal touch, asked her about her family. Obviously, this course is not meant for her. So is she interested in enrolling somebody who she cares about the future of that son or maybe daughter or in grandchildren or anything? Then she started sharing about a grandson who is like wandering, he didn't study and all. So then I started, now I know what's a pain area. Now I want to give her a solution for the pain area. Then I started giving her suggestions saying that, okay, this is what, these are the courses for the kids who have dropped from their education. This is very easy. I mean, you don't have to regularly attend the classes and all. So I gave her what all solutions I can. And she was a little hesitant. Then I told her, see, just imagine. Now, what I made her do is imagine. Just imagine your grandson finished this course. He lands up in a job. He will be independent. He will not depend on either parents or you for any money. Okay. He will start earning. He will become responsible. So when I was adding on to this, she literally could imagine that. Then she said, okay, tell me what I should do. And I was new to this. Okay. This was my first call. My hand was literally shivering and I didn't even dare to look at around because I was completely focused on my call. And then I said, okay, you just have to do a short down payment. For that, you have to give your credit card. And I was like, this credit card. And she opened a credit card. She was asking, details do you want? Then my team leader was sitting beside and he was guiding me. Okay, take down the number, SSN number, all this. And I was taking down and I could hear my own shivering in the voice. And once I took down all and I'm supposed to read a disclosure saying that, okay, within so many days you will get an application. So you have to fill the details with your grandson's details and then post it back. Then we will send you higher curriculum. And the old lady appreciated for helping her out. And that was a happy call. I ended and I just took my headset and kept it and turned around. Everybody was standing. It was like, man, did I do something wrong or did I do something right here? And everybody started because that was a first. I mean, it's a pilot batch. I still
Yeah.
remember PCP is a course name. So PCP group. So that was the first sale that was made. And why I have that so fresh in my mind is because I know that I have that in me. I can convince people through my voice. Because I understand the emotions. When I talk, I understand. So people who join the call center, they should what they're doing. Keep telling this to a lot of people. Until unless you don't love what you're doing, no, you will not enjoy.
Yes.
See, now I'm doing the podcast, enjoy. That's the reason I'm not feeling that I'm talking over a live session. I'm just having a conversation with Prafula. So enjoy what you're doing, then that will take you forward.
So when you were telling your story, I was relating one of my story where when I was starting my
Okay.
talent acquisition job, when I started my first job as a consultant in one of the consulting firm, and one of the closer, I was same like you. When you talk nicely, right, you can relate with so many people very
Yeah,
nicely, very smoothly, and I was able to imagine and recall those things as well,
true,
right?
true.
So that is the power of your words or the way you communicate the things as well.
Absolutely.
So it's a
Yes.
very powerful tool, I would say, right?
Yes. So you connect a bridge, you connect a rapport with people. Even though
Yes,
you don't
yes,
make a
yes.
sale, still you're connected.
Next question. So, what I have for you is how did you end up in recruitment from your call center job to recruitment? How was the transition? How was the journey behind?
See, I will the connection between call center life and recruitment are similar because there also I was involved with people and you're also with people. So the connection I have, I love being with people. So I call myself people person. Okay. So I love talking to them. I connect very quickly when I'm talking over the phone, especially because I sometimes sympathize them. If I don't have any job, also still we stay connected so that you never know when you might have a job that could help that person, or maybe a client who says, I have a requirement, but I don't have anybody to give it. But still we'll be connected. So 8 years of call center. I happened to resign. I mean, it was my voluntary that I wanted to take a break. Years, 8 years in the same organization. So I thought, okay, let me take a break. And there was a contact that approached me to phone saying that, I mean, I've heard a little about you through maybe one of the team member who has worked with me. So through that reference, that person called me and said that, why don't you join us into recruitment? And I had zero knowledge about recruitment. HR was doing a recruiting that time. So I didn't know much about a complete world called recruitment, bench sales, IT recruiters. There's a lot to do in this field. So I happened to go there and again have an interview. It was a very formal interview. They didn't even ask me for a resume. They just heard me talking. I said, okay, my call center, whatever I had was about my call center experience.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
recruitment
Yeah.
is literally zero. So he said, okay, no worries, we will train you. Okay. So they have given me, say, a dedicated trainer. So I was just observing and learn what. Then I learned bench sales. I started with bench sales. So here also it is US again. So that was even more easy for me. But here you have to talk to people who has gone from here. I mean, people who have gone as a student there, place them, okay, the requirement and place them. And that also was, I observed from other recruiters and I've learned it. I would say I've mastered it. I started making a lot of placements, and even my CEO, I'm sure if he wants, he would agree with me. He would appreciate the way I worked. Okay. And I would really appreciate that he's seen the potential in me and he has taken in this organization. Starting, only thing is you have to understand the market properly. You just can't get into a well. You need to see how deep the water is, how well I'm full of stones or mud or what. So you need to understand it better. So after that, it will make your journey easy. So after my recruitment has slowly grown, there also from Ben sales, I got into an IT recruiter, from IT recruiter, Salesforce recruiter, from Salesforce talent acquisition, from talent acquisition, now talent acquisition operations. So
Okay.
I've seen different phases of recruitment also. When I was doing bench sales, I used to see that I'm doing a lot of placements for on Salesforce candidates. I'm easy, like I didn't even have to put effort to place a candidate who has done Salesforce. And in that way, I started connecting to a lot of folks, Salesforce developers and people who have Salesforce requirements. Then when I was talking to them, interviewing them, reviewing their resumes and all, I somehow felt connected. So I thought, okay, let me see what else it has. Then I started working on trailheads, which is like an ocean. And from, you could say LKG or you could say nursery till it goes on. Okay. So I started enrolling myself in trailheads, started learning step by step, and I started liking as I'm learning. So you ask me anything about Salesforce, but I still want to be a recruiter only. I don't want to get into a developer or admin or anything. I still want to be a recruiter, but for Salesforce specially.
So for anyone who is hiring a Salesforce recruiter, so Maria is quite equipped and has lots and lots of experience for on Salesforce, and she definitely have a great communication, good with relationship building with people. She's a people person. So if you are looking for a Salesforce recruiter, feel free to contact Maria because she is very nice person, good in energy, have good connect with everyone. And I personally like talking to her was she can connect with people very easily. So which is one of the very important part of any TA person, right? You have to connect with people, you have to do networking, right? Great. So since we are talking about recruiting, what are the different challenges you have faced in recruitment, Maria? Because there are multiple different challenges which no one generally talk about recruiter. People think that recruitment mein hai kya role aaya but challenges nahi hai. But it's not like that, right? We have problem everywhere. So what do you think? What are the different challenges?
See, recruitment itself is challenging. That's the reason the market is so big. Every country you go, you will find recruitment happening. Every company you go, you'll find people getting hired or fired. So you take this and throw it like, okay, recruiter hi kya hai? Recruitment is a very tough job, and people who are doing into recruitment or people who are working as a recruiters, hats off to them. They have taken a decision to dive in this ocean. And every step is a challenge because it is so unpredictable market, and you have your own consultants or candidates that you talk from 3 4 days. You're following up, having scheduling interview. Any moment the candidate can drop off. Any moment your client can drop off saying that no, we are closed with this business. So the person who will get more affected is a recruiter, and who can't even express that. He can't shout at anybody. That frustrations will be there. I am sure a lot of recruiters will be able to connect with what I'm saying. So budget issues from the client side, notice period issue from the candidate side, right? Acceptance from the candidate side, then surety of the job. Like, okay, after giving the offer, then suddenly client my it is gone, we can't hire. So the main medium is me as a recruiter. Candidates know me, how bad it will look. And it is very difficult for me to say someone, hey, I'm sorry, you're selected, but we can't hire you. It is very difficult to say that with a heavy heart, right? So these are the challenges, and we are living with that challenge. After
Yes.
that, also, we are placing. So that is what I called hats off to recruiters.
So another one challenges which I see currently, which is on top of my mind. So recently I have just searched talent acquisition term in LinkedIn in general, right? So what I found surprisingly, so near about 94 lakh of talent acquisition persons are available in LinkedIn itself, right?
Mhm.
So you can see how big the pool is,
Yes.
right? And out of that, I have also deep dive little bit only for India specific, right? I filter it down to India from global. So there the number is somewhere around like 11 lakh, right? So I haven't put any fancy keywords and other things, just simple talent acquisition. It showed 96 lakh in general in global, then 11 lakh in talent acquisition in India. So then other thing which I tried to do was I tried to search for job, right? Same talent acquisition. This time instead of people, I have filtered it down with jobs. So for surprise, like what I have got is the number of jobs available is very less, right? Compared to 11 lakh in India currently, there are 36,000 jobs available for talent acquisition. So you can see the gap between the people available in the market or whoever is working, whoever is not working, but still 11 lakh is a huge pool. The number of jobs available is very limited as well. So
Yes.
if you see how big the difference is,
Yeah.
right?
True.
So, and because of that, we have seen recently that lots of TA folks have been laid off because of the economic situation, because of the market conditions, and whatever the reason is, right? Still, there are lots of recruiters available in the market, right, who are looking for job change. So, as a recruiter, can you also give some kind of tips and tricks? What are some of the things people can do to find jobs? This is specifically only for our TA folks.
Yes.
We are not talking about anyone else, just TA folks, because we help people to find jobs, but it's difficult for us itself to find jobs.
And to add to this, Prafula, I actually get a pinch whenever I look at LinkedIn where our TAs that, yeah, I'm looking for job. So whoever is connected, whoever pings me, I keep sending jobs to them. I see if it is suitable for you. Okay. Now, coming back to your topic, as you said, TA talent is more. Okay. But the requirement is less. That is because TAs are still considered as support only. Out of a
Yeah.
strength of like 500 employees in an organization, hardly 5% or 10% will be TA. Yes. So every company, at least one or two will be TAs depending on the size of the organization. Okay. And there are opportunities that are on contract base also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in India, working on a contract is no job security. And in India, we tend to feel that, okay, my job is secured or no. So people tend to apply for more for full timers. Okay. But what I've observed is whenever let's take, for example, if you're looking for a TA in Bangalore, okay, if I had to apply, I first need to go through the organization who is posting it, what kind of culture they have. Do I really fit into this? Or let me send it off and then see if I'm getting selected. So that shouldn't be. Now, if you are a consultant who post a job, you will be flooded with profiles. Do you think you will
Yes.
read all the profiles?
Of course, no.
So, in order to make your profile on the top, what you have to do? So, because we are recruiters in TA, so we don't go through all the profiles. We'll only pick the few profiles which are mostly matching to the JD. So, you have to make sure that your resume also is matching the JD. So, modify accordingly. I would say take 5 minutes, 10 minutes before you apply. At times, I would say out of 10 requirements you have CA, if you get a response from one, that's a win for you. If you're not doing it in the right way. So go back and revise and see how will a recruiter look at my resume? Like presentable. If I had to hire this person, will I hire? So be your own judge. Okay. So that itself will give you more feedback about your resume. I need to modify this. And do you think if I'm looking for a person who has experience on IT, specifically on let's say Oracle or SAP, but if that is not there in your resume, obviously they will not shortlist you. So you're just putting a newspaper to them, which they are not
Yes.
interested in looking at. Okay. So be mindful about where you're applying and for what you're applying. Keep modifying it. But obviously, when you're modifying, make sure that you have that required skill in order to, because you will be interviewed. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to understand and go through their company jobs regularly. What kind of jobs do they keep posting? So make a little study on that. Like, for example, if an organization is asking for a TA, and I see that they are posting a lot of jobs on net or mostly on .NET ERP, then I should understand. That'll give me a little more preparation that, okay, I need to prepare myself to make sure that I know a little about .NET, a little about ERP, so that when they ask you a question, okay, what kind of roles did you hire? If I say .NET and ERP, that'll highlight it. Yeah, they are able to connect with us. You are doing the same thing, what we are looking for. So keep modifying, keep researching, and study a little about the organization is what I would suggest.
Yep. But posted a job for a recruiter, and within an hour, it will be filled with 100 of resume or 200 of resume. And as a human, it's very difficult for us to screen those 100, 200 resume, right? So what we try to do is we try to filter down through various, if we have support from our organization in terms of tools and technologies, we'll use those tools and try to screen accordingly and try to find out some of the top 10, 15 or 20 resumes, and accordingly we'll try to screen them or talk to them. That's the normal standard process. Like any unconventional method you have heard from any recruiter or anyone who have done something different out of the league?
And to be honest, Prafula, I don't see anybody might have done something differently. Everybody follows the same method unless and until they crack something. Okay, this is what I've done and that's worked for me. But when I did any post, I used to get flooded with resumes. But I always believe is like, no, resume is something which will show maybe a outline about you. But I would be more interested in talking to you rather than just looking at your resume.
Yeah.
Because you have, I mean, as a person, you must be having more skills than what I'm looking at your resume. Anybody can do that for you, right? AI is there, so that can prepare a resume for you.
Yes.
But I don't want to hire an AI. I want to hire you depending on what exactly your skills are.
Yeah.
So I would believe in talking to people. But yeah, obviously we use that filters and all. Even I used to do the same thing, filters. But I believe in talking to people before rejecting. And I don't mind saying to that person, hey, you know what? Our requirement is this. Okay. And maybe this requirement doesn't suit you. Rather than saying you don't fit into, I would make it positive to that person and say that this requirement doesn't suit you. So maybe I'll come back to you with another requirement which matches your resume. So
Yeah.
that keeps the candidate also positive and still in connection. She'll come back to
Yes.
me. So
Yes.
that's how I leave a candidate with indirectly saying, I'm sorry. This
And
is
a
not
very,
right.
very good way to end the discussion or the process as well, right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, if lots have, we all have been hearing about ghosting, right, these days, right? Why that is happening? Because some of the recruiters might not have ended the call well, right? He or she have just kept the candidate hanging somewhere, right? Similar, it's both the way, right? It's not the egg or a chicken kind of story. It's both the way. You do something, it will do some similar to you as well, right?
Yes.
Great. So good discussion so far. So now focus is for you, Maria, again. So as a person, so when you are not working, right? So what you love to do?
If I'm not working, I must be watching some thriller movie or some crime stories because I love doing that. Or listen to some songs. I'm a person who likes to do a lot of singing and listen to songs or dance.
And are you basically from Hyderabad itself?
I am born and brought up in Hyderabad.
Okay. So we have invited lots of guests, podcast guests from Hyderabad, and we have heard lots of good things about Hyderabad. Even some of my relatives, my in-law side relatives are there in Hyderabad. So I have visited multiple times to Hyderabad, ate multiple different biryanis and multiple different food as well in Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is a very good place. One of 2014 or 15, I went to Hyderabad for one of the hiring drive. I was working with Adobe, and at the time, generally in Bangalore, everything closed, it shut down between like 12 kind of thing. But I was with my friends, some of my friends, and they ordered ice cream around like midnight, 12, 1 o'clock, and it was delivered at that night. So which was something very good experience for me at that time. But now, anyways, we also get similar thing in Bangalore. But at least at that time in 2014, 15, it was a great memory for me.
I mean, to add up about Hyderabad, I mean, you asked me to talk, I can talk about Hyderabad. Hyderabad is a city that's blend with tradition and modernity beautifully. It is modernized as well as very traditional. So, I mean, you can admire Charminar. I'm sure people heard about Charminar and a few miles away, which is a high tech city, which is surrounded by tech giants. And the best part is the diversity. So, here you enter any lane, you get to hear multiple conversations from people talking in Hindi, Urdu, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, you name it, you'll find the conversations going on. This makes the adaptability and open minded here. So the culture is very different. In my own locality, we have Muslims beside Hindus and Christians and even Gujaratis. But when there is a festival, it is like everybody celebrates. So
Yes.
I love that thing about Hyderabad here with the later, and this also helped me in recruitment because people from different, because I've been working almost like 5 years remotely. I'm really missing out, like, the personal touch where we gather in the office, celebration, we do get to see each other. So yeah, my colleagues are in Gurgaon, in Delhi, in Chennai, in Bangalore. But when they sometimes we get to talk in their own regional language, and we understand that because I've been hearing a lot people talk in Malayalam here, people talk in Kannada here. So it's not that okay, you're somewhere far. It feels that we are very close, right? So if you live in Hyderabad and don't have an option about which place has the best biryani, They will look at you and say, "Are you really a Hyderabadi?" So I'm sure everybody who are from Hyderabad in their lifetime, they might have eaten Hyderabadi biryani.
Yes, yes.
And as you're talking, I'm actually my mouth is watering, Prafula. I'm sorry.
Even same here. When I was trying to recall the number of different biryanis I have had over there, all different taste, awesome taste, I would say. For anyone who is listening to our podcast, we just don't talk. Recruitment definitely is important, but again, like we also talk about food and culture and other things as well,
We can
right?
also relate, no? The biryani is made with so many spices. So
Yes,
it also has good, bad, spicy, tangent, sour, everything in that.
all kinds of emotions as well, right?
And that makes a yummy biryani. The smell actually attracts so many people. It's cooked somewhere and the smell is here. I could sense.
Great. So the next, with interest of time, I just have three more questions. Right.
Okay.
So basically, as a parent, right? So you mentioned about diversity, right? So when you talk about diversity, you mentioned that people from across different places get together in one place and all, right? So my wife is a Telugu. I am from Assam,
Okay.
which is other part of India and all those things. And we met in Bangalore, and how they became friends and fall in relation and got married and all. Now, when we talked about family, that's how we became a family, right? Now, when we become a family, we also wanted to take care of our family, right? But we also need to take care of family along with our work, right? Work is important. So talent acquisition is our work, but again, family is also important. So as a working lady, right, how do you balance between work and family?
Makes us super women because we balance everything, and that is inbuilt in every woman. It is inbuilt. That'll come out when it has to come out. We don't keep showing that, yeah, I have superpowers, I have wings, which is invisible. So I have a 10-year-old, 11-year-old son. Okay, he studies in sixth and now he's in hostel. But yeah, when he was there, he was any kid, as you know, you also have one. So they are hyper, full of energy. You don't need boost or Horlicks to boost them up. Okay, they always want to be engaged. Okay, so for me to keep my son engaged, I have to be on my toes and I had to be more creative and I have to think, okay, if I give this, will he like it? Will he play with this? Or will he do that? Will he solve this? If I ask him to draw something and color that, or maybe give him rice and ask him to, okay, do something different. Give him pulses and ask him, okay, put the tree pulse and branch and brown pulses and all. So he will do it. After a certain time, he'll get, okay, mom, I'm done. Give me what else? I'm bored now. So in order to keep him engaged, I have to be like super creative. So got a big wall which has, I have my cupboard which does what do you call a board, a black board for him. You scribble whatever you want. You scribble. Now I ask him to draw, okay, triangle. Then in that triangle, make a circle. In that circle, you draw something else, a shape. So in that way, I used to make it playful as well as teaching also for him. And teaching him sort of go, I was even play with him, chess, everything. So it was exhausting at the same time. And a lot of mothers will connect with me. It is a very exhausting job to have a son or a daughter who is like over and to. Okay. But at the same time, when we're working, we want to give 100% towards the work. Lot of times when I was in my meeting, okay, and we had to be on meeting busily opening the folders and talking about suddenly, mom, all go close the door. This was happening, and he knows very well that okay, mummy's in the meeting, so I can close the door and keep watching TV or play with the mobile. She will not disturb me. He knows my timing. Okay, from this time to this time, I can do whatever I want. Apart from study, I can do whatever I want. So that was it. Soon after my meetings, just go back to attend, see what he's doing, then get him back, make him sit along with me, make him do homework. At the same time, I do my reports. So juggling between the works, I'm sure that I'm fulfilling work as well as even attending to my kid, take care of the
Yes.
kid. That's what I call women are like super women.
Thank you, Maria, for being a super woman, super mother. I know International Women's Day is coming, so happy Women's Day in advance to you and all other women out there
Yeah.
in the community, outside of the community, in and around us. So we really understand that it's not easy to be a parent, it's not easy to be a lady, it's not easy to be a sister. So we really respect you. And so whatever you are doing, great. So we are really proud of you all. So all the best. And once again, congratulations and happy Women's Day in advance. Hope
And
happy
from my
Women's
side
to you
also
as
to
well.
all the wonderful women who has all the energy of the world. And I wish and pray that all of us have good health and lot of peace of mind to carry forward our lives. Yeah.
Yes. Great. Moving to our next question, Maria. So any piece of advice to our recruiter friends out there, anything, whichever you feel like giving.
Sure. I would say, I mean, any whoever has chosen recruitment as their career, so love what you're doing and understand always because everybody will take a turn in being available in the market. Today, maybe you will have requirements. Tomorrow, you must be searching for a requirement. That means you will be looking for a job. Be kind enough to understand where you want to go into, which requirement you're working on, what kind of candidates you want. And at the same time, when you are applying, do a study about what company you want to get into, what kind of a role, and do it with passion. So with that passion, you will not find any kind of glitches, and you will enjoy wherever you are, either you're searching for a job or you're searching for a candidate.
Great. Thank you for your advice, Maria. We're almost in the end of our podcast. Before we wind up, I just have another question for you. Is you have been one of our co-member in I'm a Recruiter community, right?
Yes.
So, what you like about I'm a Recruiter community, and why did you choose to become the core member in I'm a Recruiter community?
Yeah, still remember, Prafula, when you first approached asking about the same question, I said I was not aware that there was a community for dedicatedly for TS. And when the first time we had a meet in Hyderabad, right, I was so excited that I'm going to meet people who are like me, same like-minded people. And to my surprise, on LinkedIn itself, I sent so many people the invitation and expected them to arrive. I mean, I've seen a lot of people coming, showing up, but there were a lot of people who were not able to. I mean, I was not able to approach them. Okay. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a platform where I can first let me get in and pull everyone in so that all of us will be in that same group, talking the same language, understanding what we are doing. Because when I'm talking about recruitment, a recruiter can easily understand what slang I'm talking. So it is like no give and take. If I need something, you're there to help me. If you need something, I'm there to help you. So it
Yes,
was more about fellowship. So
that's
this
true.
concept I liked it, and I wanted to be, and I'm so grateful to the team as well as for you, Prafula, that they have selected as a core member. And I'm looking forward to adding more people to this group. And whoever is joined will get benefits and advantage of being in this, being a part of this.
So much for your kind word, Maria. It's really good to hear good things from the core members as well as from in general from everyone about the community, right? And I feel really proud part of this community as well, because same like you, when I thought I had the similar thought, hey, we don't have the community, why not we can build something like that, right? That was the thought process behind the community. Great. Just to wind up, once again thank Maria for taking us back to your life journey, how you have started your career post your 10th class to support yourself as well, right? And how you understood which is your strength, right? Understanding this strength is definitely very important, and how you have used your strength to grow in your career. Let it be call center, let it be training the new joiners or the recruiters out there, right? Then how you transition into recruitment as well. So definitely it was a great inspiring story of yours, and I would ask everyone to reach out to you, whoever is hiring Salesforce recruiter role, because she is definitely a good recruiter who can connect easily with people. And since she has interested mostly into Salesforce side, so if you know anyone hiring Salesforce recruiter, feel free to reach out to her as well. And lastly, not the least, you have also mentioned about like how as a mother, as a daughter, it's difficult as well. So I really appreciate that life is not equally easy for everyone, but how you juggle between things, but still you are off, you show up yourself for the next meeting or with your life as well. So thank you for being the strong lady out there and inspiring every other individual who will be watching this podcast. And with this, thank you so much, Maria, for your time. Really appreciate. And it was a great connect. Good to know about your life, Maria.
For this platform, it is my first podcast, but I had a blast, and I hope all the audience and the viewers, whoever is going to listen or who is listening, would get connected with whatever we had a discussion. And if you feel that somewhere we are connected with my story, then please like and subscribe and also share. And y'all can find me on LinkedIn. I love connecting with people and sharing experience. Thank you once again.